Wait, hold on, Chris. You said that she's mean?
Hell yeah, she mean.
You
You
said
should
that
hear
Toni
stuff.
is mean?
Hey, you should hear the stuff she be talking about when we not on air. Or our personal conversations. They gonna come in here and talk about, I'm nice. I am not mean.
Oh man.
Serious? That's what we're doing now? All
We
right, I'm
telling the
going
truth.
in.
We telling the truth.
Okay, I'm going in.
Oh
Let's
wow.
go.
I,
See, look, look,
Uh
look.
let's
oh.
Hey, hey,
go.
hey, hey, hey. There goes the niceness out the window. Thank you
Wait,
for proving my point. Thank you.
that's funny. That's funny. All right,
Didn't take
y'all.
but 2 minutes.
Welcome. Hey, welcome to M2M-TV. I'm your host, Richard Hall. I got my co-host Chris Smith, and of
What's
course, we got
happening?
a special, super special guest tonight. The woman with the plan, the one that keeps us going, Miss Toni Breedlove. That
Yes,
that beautiful ray of sunshine over there with that smile. You see that cute smile right
this
there.
little light of mine.
This little light of mine. What's up, Toni?
I don't know now because I was called mean. And I think
Okay.
people heard that because we were just going on. And Chris called
Well,
me mean. So now I'm going to have to prove his point
But let me
that I'm
ask
well,
you a
not.
question. Do you think people even pay attention to anything that I say? And you worried about them thinking you mean?
Of course
Girl, you
they
fine.
do.
You fine.
no, they don't.
They don't.
Yeah, they do.
They ain't paying me no attention. They know I'm gonna get on here and talk my shit, and that's it. So you ain't
Let me
gotta worry
tell you.
about nothing.
Let me tell you. Chris is gonna come on. Chris is gonna always come on, and he's gonna say something raw and left field, and he's gonna say something to get a rise out of you, Toni. That's
Damn
what he's
right.
gonna do. He's
I
gonna do that
know.
every single time.
And he
Rise
Yeah,
up, my
gets me. He
child.
gets me every time.
he's gonna do that.
Nah, I know. So watch this. Watching the show last week, and I said that the girls have more dick than their age. Watching Tony's face in that moment was priceless. Tony literally went like this.
Oh
And the
man.
funny thing is, as I was watching the show, I was surprised I didn't get a letter or an email saying, "So, listen here, Chris, we're not gonna have this on the show anymore. We're gonna need you to tone it back a little bit."
Right. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, here's the thing. When
No.
we get on here, Chris, you know, we have great conversations.
Right.
We don't always see eye to eye in the conversations because you have your perspective, I have my perspective, on the way I see things, and it's really nice because I remember a time when I had like similar thinking. You know what I mean? I had similar thinking.
Tony, I want to tell you what he do, and I'm gonna call his ass out on it already. This boy like to throw these little curves at me, right? He be like, "Yeah," and I used to have that similar thinking with your young ass, but you gonna grow up one day and think like me. Listen here, brother. I have you
Hey,
know. I have a
with
lot
your
of
young
knowledge in
ass.
this head. Hey, Tony, he be thinking he's slick, but I catch that. Don't trip. I be on it.
Hey, look, if you catch the verbal slap sometime right now, so I can see comments over here too.
Okay.
Just in
And
case.
yes, Jacqueline, everything is well. Thank you so much. We are
What's
totally
up, Jacqueline?
blessed. Thank you. That's our girl. She's like our ride or
Oh,
die.
faithful,
Hey,
love her, and
hey,
she's
let me
on
tell
the
you something.
inside.
Let me tell you something about Jacqueline. I was watching. I was on scrolling through Facebook. I think what maybe a week or two ago, and I saw her go live, and she's doing her little planks and stuff. Her plank challenge, and that girl's getting it in.
She
She's getting it
is.
in. So
She is.
kudos to you. I see what's going.
Absolutely.
You live
Yes.
your life,
Absolutely.
boo boo.
Yeah.
Boo, boo.
So I almost want to jump right into it, Toni, but I'm gonna let you thank all the sponsors and everything real quick. Set the tone real quick with the sponsors, so we can just jump right into it because you're so good at it.
We got to get it from the voice.
No, that's not why. It's because you don't want to do it.
No, hey, no.
No,
But on some real stuff, he does a good job because he remembers a lot of them, and then
thank you.
sometimes he be like, but everybody. But I always tell him, I give him props because he
Thank
gets
you.
it done. And
Thank
like I
you.
said, it's not an easy job. Respect, bro.
Because
Thank
you
you.
know
I
what we're
appreciate
gonna
it.
do? What we're gonna do, Richard, is we're gonna have Chris open it.
Oh,
What was that look?
Now that's
Hey,
Serious?
not Chris's
hey,
department. I gotta have my brother's
hey,
back
don't
right
play
there.
switching up
That's
over here
not
because I'll sit here like I'm a mute. Go on and get to the job, boo boo.
that's not Chris's department. He is not
It
gonna do
sure
that.
ain't.
Yeah.
I'm in the men's department, okay?
Oh my gosh. Let me say hi to Carlene Beverly and Latifa Downs before we get started. Hey, ladies, I'm
What's
so
up,
glad that you're
ladies?
joining us.
What's up,
And
Jack?
yes,
Yeah,
Latifa
we
said
got
I
Jack.
should have on my referee shirt. Yeah, let me go change it right
She know
now.
how to
Hey,
go.
if they saw last week's show, then you definitely need a whistle and a referee shirt.
Couple of flags. Couple of
Only on
flags.
Chris's side. Chris's side.
Here we go. Hey,
He was
like
out
I
of
said,
bounds.
throw them jabs.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, but I do it
So,
so well, Chris. I do it so well.
and Deneen says hello to Richard. So before we get started, I do want to thank our sponsors. Hot Topics Talk Radio Network and M2M-TV is sponsored by Shades of Africa in 2 locations, in the city of Corona and in the city of Long Beach. If ever you're in either Corona or in Long Beach and you head on over to the
Woo, woo.
stores,
Oh, you said Long Beach. I got a little excited. When you say Long Beach, I get excited. Woo woo. Go ahead.
He was
mention
listening
Hot
to some
Topics
Snoop
Talk
Dogg this
Radio.
week.
Mention the Hot Topics Talk Radio Network or any of the shows under the network and receive 15% off your purchase. Shades of Africa for the mind, body, and spirit. Also sponsored by SPMG Media. Thank you, Ms. Gina Smith, as
Woo
well
woo.
Whoop,
as
whoop.
Come
This
on,
is
girl.
why you wanted me to do it, right, Richard?
That's right.
Hey, I had to do it too. Whoop whoop. Great minds
Oh
think
my
alike,
gosh.
Chris.
That's
Also
right.
sponsored by FES Protection, Miss Stephanie Jenkins, as well as, and last but certainly not least, Mr. Reggie Kearney, the editor in chief of the Urban Sentinel.
Whoa
Also,
whoa.
Whoop 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 whoop.
Woo Woo Reggie. Reggie is also the host, one of the hosts on Real World News TV. So, for more information regarding our sponsors or any of the shows, head on over to our website at hottopicstalkradio.com/sponsors and make sure that you check out all of the shows.
Now,
All
see, I
right, you
would have been
guys.
done with all that already by now, Chris. See, I would have been done with it already.
Yeah, but you probably would have left out at least 2 of them sponsors. It didn't
Yeah, I
happen, bro.
probably
Exactly.
would
But
have.
it's all but it's all good because you keep it rolling like it's all good and you done got
You
them
know what I'm
all.
saying? Hey,
But
Tony, you got to tighten it up,
hey,
okay? You
no,
got to
but
tighten it
seriously,
up.
no, seriously,
Jacqueline says
because
I
you know
got it
what, Richard?
right.
Hey, one thing I noticed is you when you be struggling, you be like, so hopefully you put it up, and then Tony, I don't know what you be back there. I think you be drinking or something because them they don't come up sometimes, and
At
Richard be
all.
like, okay, but go to the Hot Topic Talk Radio and talk, and he breaks it down.
That's
So
right.
you
So,
got it,
so,
bro.
so, thank you. I appreciate that, bro. And good job, Tony. Good job, Tony.
Thank
Good
you.
job. You did
Thank
good.
you.
You did all right. You did all right. No, I'm just. All right. So look. Tonight's topic. Let's just jump right into it because last week, the show went kind of fast last week.
Right.
When we were talking and everything. So I want to thank everybody. We got a new listener tuned in tonight, Deneen. What's up, Deneen? I see
What's
you.
up,
Hey, girl.
Deneen?
Yeah, so we got Latifa, we got Jacqueline, Deneen, we have Carlene, and
Sydney.
Sydney Green. We have
I
all
know
these people.
Sydney. I went to school with Sydney. I grew up in the same neighborhood as Sydney. So I'm so glad
Hi.
that you
Okay, that's what's
had.
up. Now, see, I know Deneen. I know Deneen. Me and Deneen go back like Similac. That's my girl right there. I
Is
know
that a
Deneen.
real saying?
I've
Yes,
never heard it before,
Deneen.
but it was cool.
Uh, yeah, that's her real name. That's her real name. She's
No, no,
Creole.
not her real name. Is that a
No,
real
go back
saying?
like Similac.
No, but that's the thing. Yeah, we go back like Similac. Like, I've known Deneen
We
for
we got
years
we
now.
got it, bro.
That's my
We
homegirl.
got it, bro. Don't
Way
hurt yourself.
back. I'm not, man. Hold on. Okay, look. All right, so let's get in the show. So last week we ended the show where me and Chris we had to agree to disagree. So if you guys didn't see last week's show, go over to the hottopicstalkradio.com website, go over to our page, the page that you're on right now, our Facebook page, and just scroll up a little bit. All right, just scroll up a little bit and you guys can
Mm-hmm.
tune into last week's show. All right, because we're going to jump right into it. Because last week, we had some moments where Chris thought I was full of shit. Oh man, no, that you full of it. You just saying what the ladies want you to say, and this and that. And quite frankly, that's not really what it is. So we were saying similar things. It's just, we're talking from different perspectives. I remember a time
Here we
when
go. Here go the
I
bullshit.
thought like that too.
Hey,
But
I smelt it coming.
hey, you saw the hand. You saw the
No,
hand.
but you know what I was thinking? What I was thinking, I went just like this. But what I was thinking was, we started off the show on a really good note. And
Right.
I think we should kind of get back to that part because,
Okay.
when we were discussing just as far as how boys, are raised and, the type of love that we're shown versus how girls are shown different type of love, it plays a big part in how we're raised. One thing that was interesting because how like you made a comment last week about how fathers, some fathers don't show any affection or even say anything, and
Right.
a boy will come up to his dad and be like, "I didn't even feel love," and he'll tell you something like, "You ate, didn't you? You had clothes on your back, didn't you?"
Right.
Right.
And one thing I thought about today, and I thought it was really cool, and I hope y'all feel it the same way I felt it when I thought about it. I said, we feel loved, or men show love based off of support. Like basically when they're giving, like when you really look at it, that's how most men feel like they're showing their love to their kids or to their sons, like by taking care of them, by doing certain things, and that's how we equate love. Whereas girls, they get that too, but they get the hugs, they get the compliments and stuff, and a lot of it just depends on the generation because this generation today more affectionate. I kiss my son. I give my son a hug. My son's only 3. I don't know if I'll still be doing that as he gets older. But my thing is, more men are comfortable with doing that versus, as we were being raised, our fathers didn't do that and their fathers
Right.
didn't do that. So at the same time, it was just a different level of like love. And I'll show you something. I told this to a girl today. I said the funny thing is how men show support as love. Like, let's say, for instance, you come home today, you tell your dad, like, damn, this boy was picking on me or he was messing with me today. Your dad would be like, okay, well, come here. Let me show you how you need to defend yourself. Let me show you what to do. And that's a sign of love. Like, women probably won't identify to that, but that's like a sign of love that fathers give to their kids when they're showing
Well,
them or
yeah, you
telling
have
them
to
what to
show him
do.
how to defend himself and protect himself in a fight. I agree with
But
you.
but that's a form of love
That's a form of
coming
love.
from them.
Yeah,
And
but
it
we're
might
but if
seem
you're talking from a father son, standpoint or father child standpoint, then I have to agree with you. There's so many different dynamics that go along with that. But when we talk about, relationships, do men know how to love? That's where it gets kind of sketchy, because if we're diving into the relationship aspect of it, um a lot of times we know how to love. Is just, I still believe that we have our guard up, or we're sometimes too machismo in our minds, to where we haven't had a humbling moment yet, to where we haven't lost that woman yet, or she hasn't broke us all the way down yet, to where we're really gonna know how to love that woman. You
Well,
feel what I'm
for me
saying?
to under, and I feel you somewhat on that. And what I want you to do is because I think instead of like attacking you last week, I would have wanted you to maybe break down the guards up thing because that's the part I'm not understanding. Because when you say most men have their guards up and that's why they don't really love or really show that, like I need to understand that.
Okay. Well, when you think about this for a second, like, a lot of times as a man, we have to present ourselves in a certain way. We
Mm-hmm.
have to be strong. We have to be assertive. We have to know that we got it handled. And we sometimes project that just a
Right.
little too much. We
Mm-hmm.
project that too much in our women, towards
Right.
our women, where we don't give them that opportunity to really see if they can really help us out. You know what I mean? And so when they do try to help us out, no, 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 we got it, babe, we got it, babe. But we're, until we figure it out. That's one
Mm-hmm.
form of guard.
Well, let
But
me
then,
ask you. Let me stop you. Let me ask you a question. I don't mean to
no,
interrupt
it's
you,
okay.
but when you say until you figure it out, what does that look like?
Wait, sorry, I'm sorry. Say that one more time because you broke up.
You said you don't accept it until you figure it out. What does
Yeah.
figuring it out look like?
Well, a lot of times I think we come from a place, once we get the booty, we figure, you ours. We got you, you know. And a lot of times, just getting the booty isn't enough to really sustain the relationship. See, we did all the things in the beginning to get that woman, but we don't necessarily do everything to keep that woman. You
My
follow what I'm
question, but
saying?
my
I
question to
do.
And
you is,
so,
in a situation like that, do you feel like, because I just remember when I was dating, I don't really remember being worried about how long I was gonna have this girl. Like, of course, yes, if I had sex with her, yeah, I felt like she was mine. I felt like I'm the only one and all of that. But I don't remember like ever thinking, and like I said, that's a different age gap right there. So at the same time, the mentality would have been a lot different. But even looking at the men that are older within their 30s, I don't really know too many men that are like, okay, holding on to this down the line. Maybe as they get older, but I feel like most men don't usually have that mindset.
well, a lot of, you mean as far as not having that mindset of trying to look for something longevity? Is that what you're saying? Like a
Well,
long
like, okay,
relationship?
so if they have sex with her, he's not thinking like, okay, cool, this might be my woman for a long time. He like, I
Mm.
got it. Shit, I was hoping I got it quick, or I was hoping I got it when I got it. And then it's like, after that, where do you go from that? Most men, once they get it, it's kind of like, if there's nothing else more appealing, then we on to the next thing, or our
Well,
mind.
definitely. But see, I don't always think that. I think that's the woman's fault and that's the man's fault. That has nothing to do with love, because if two grown people want to have sex and they see each other like attractive, then love ain't got shit to do with an ejaculation. Love ain't got nothing to do with that. Now, because they're two grown people that try to do that. So if we go back to the point of Tony, I think you were saying, what does that love look like as far as the transitioning, right?
Hmm.
To me, right? If we go back
Right.
to that point, most men,
Mhm.
until they're like really, really humble, at least the men that I know, that when they know their woman's about to leave, or even what I've personally experienced in moments when I had to kind of like check myself, have a come to
Mm-hmm.
Jesus talk with myself, it was when I felt like my woman was going to leave and I didn't want her to leave. Not my
Mm-hmm.
wife, but a woman that I was with before her,
Right.
you know. um, or it takes some of those moments. Or even if a dude is sleeping around, and doing his thing. I saw one dude that was sleeping around, and I asked him straight up. I was like, "Yo, like, why do you do that on your woman? Like, you say she does this for you every day. She gives you a back massage. She does this." He told me straight up. He was like, "Cause she ain't going nowhere." He was like, "She's mine. She
Wow.
ain't going nowhere."
So watch
And
this. So then
Wow.
basically you agreed with me then. Because I
well,
told you
that
last week, I said men don't usually know what love is until they've gone through something or they're
Right.
going through
Or they're
something.
going
And
through.
that was my point, because I honestly don't think if a man has gone through something, they understand how to love.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We were both, like how Tony said last week. We were
One point,
both pretty
Tony.
much saying the same thing. We were saying the same thing.
We weren't saying
But
the same thing.
You
shut
guys
up,
were
Chris.
on the same page. I think you were on the same path. You were on the same road.
We just
But
have different
because your
perspectives.
perspectives were so different, and because there is somewhat of an age gap, you've got a gap as far as when uh, relationships have taken hold
Well, I'll give you
on
an
Right.
your
example.
lives.
I'll
And
give you an
the
example.
experiences are different, which make your perspective and how you articulate it
Well, I'll
different.
give you an example right now. Because if Tony had did her damn homework like I sent her on Tuesday, she'd have been on the
Oh,
same
here we
page.
go.
And this is the thing, bro. I really have to apologize to you, and I'll tell you why. When I was thinking about this topic, I had watched. I don't know if you listen to J. Cole's new CD.
No,
Okay, there's a song on there called Kevin's Heart. And when I
I
listened
heard
to that
about it.
song, so when I listened to that song, it helped me to understand how a lot of men are very lost in this world. And it's because we're so caught up in everything that's going on around us that we can lose sight of what's more important. That's why I was saying, even with what you just said about that guy, we could be with a woman for a long time and sleep around on her. And the first thing a woman will say is, damn, like I thought he loved me. But he do love you. But at the
Right,
same
he
time,
does.
he doesn't have the discipline within himself to see his life and to understand what's more important. And
Right.
had I told you about that video, See, I kind of took it. You would read the description of the show, and like I said, it's my fault because you and I are normally like on the same page before we even go into a show. We don't rehearse nothing. We just talk when during the show,
Yeah,
and we're
we
usually
just go
right
in.
on point. But my thing
Yeah.
was, I had a direction what I wanted to go into, and it was based off that song. I want you to listen to it today, and it'll give you a little bit more understanding on why I was so more focused on letting women know how men are so lost. And a lot of it stems to just our upbringing and how we know how to love. And, you know, like I said, if you haven't heard that song, please listen to that song because it explains how and also shows you the different things that men go through within our day-to-day lives, not on a celebrity level, but more so just on just going to the mall, going to the
But you
store.
don't have to be on a celebrity level to be able to try and get an
No, definitely.
understanding,
Right.
Right.
because men are men, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what your job is.
Like I gotta
It
watch
doesn't.
Right.
that comment because Santonio say something slick. Men are men. You know, women say some slick shit after they say that.
Right. Well, here's the thing though. Like
That's why she's smiling. That's why she's
here's the thing.
smiling.
Men are men, but see, there's also that, and I think this is where where we kind of differ just a little bit, Chris, is like growing up, I wasn't looking for like all the women I wanted to smash. I wasn't looking for that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Um and so yeah, there's a certain
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because some men are looking for, or some men, when they're coming up, okay, that's all they know how to do is look for someone to smash,
right.
like that one, that one.
Just being honest. Being honest.
Well, I mean,
And then there
we
are
all went
others,
through it. We all go
right?
through it.
Oh, right.
Not
But
saying I
then
didn't
I
have a
think,
whole moment. I
right,
had
Wait
a
a
but
whole moment.
minute.
Hold on.
Wait,
I had a
what?
whole moment, but I didn't.
but
What?
wait a minute,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
hold on.
Okay.
But was that learned behavior? Was that behavior that was taught to you by whomever it was that was more instrumental in giving you life lessons, like your mom, or was it your dad who was giving you life lessons as a man? Who did
I'll
you
let you
learn
go
it
first,
from?
bro.
Yeah,
Well,
because
with
I'm going to ask you too.
as far as like being with one woman and all that type of stuff,
Who did you learn that from?
honestly, I learned it from my dad. But I
Okay.
learned it from my dad because I wanted to be the complete opposite.
Ah,
Okay.
okay. So I'm
You
hearing
know,
you correctly. Okay.
yeah, I wanted to be
Okay.
the complete opposite. Like my dad was a very lovable person and everything like that, but like I don't try to fake the funk. Like, my when my father died, he had four women,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them knew about each other, you know.
Mm,
And
mm.
he never hid that fact because he handled his business and he took care of everything. But there were years growing up where I never saw my father.
Mm-hmm.
Years. Now, I don't have any type of animosity towards my dad or anything like that, but that was where, like, in some of the previous shows, like last year, you would hear me say things like, I grew up watching Bill Cosby or, Uncle Phil and things like that, because those were my examples of like a father. My mother was a single mother, if you really look at it,
Mm-hmm.
because my dad's form of love was I work, work, work. There were years, Tony, that I didn't see my dad. So now
Mm.
I make it a point to come home every day. I make it a point to be with my wife. I make it a point because I want it to be the complete opposite. And I thank God all the time that at the end of the day, in his last day, I swear, me and my father had a conversation 24 hours before he died. And he told me several different things that how he was proud of me, and several different things that I'll in the conversation that I'll never forget. But my dad, if you want to say it was a learned behavior, yes, it was a learned behavior,
But
but
an opposite learned
Right.
it was an
behavior.
Mm-hmm.
opposite. Yes, I was
But I'll
very
tell you one
observant.
thing,
Oh,
and this kills me, because like I said, boy, you be saying some contradictory shit.
It's not
This man
contradictory.
said, I wasn't growing up looking to have sex with all the women.
I wasn't.
But I did have, but I ain't saying I didn't have my whole moment.
Because but see, I'm being
No. I'm
transparent.
not even gonna go into
but
that.
most
Well, no,
I'm
we
not even
men,
gonna
should.
go into it. I'm gonna
No,
leave
we
that. I'm gonna
no,
leave
most
we
that be.
should
men
go
don't.
I'm gonna
into it.
leave
Wait a
that
minute.
be.
But hold on. But I would think that I'm not saying that you had gotten like sheer from adolescence,
Mm,
okay, to where you just were not doing anything unless you were going to be with one woman. I'm not.
But see,
I'm not thinking that,
okay,
okay, because I'm hoping that before you had found your wife, right?
Before I had what?
That
You're
you
breaking
didn't
up.
before you found your wife.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you dated, that you did go out, you
Oh,
had
that's what I'm saying. I had a
experiences
whole
with other
moment during
women,
that time.
right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. Okay, because I'm
Oh,
hoping
okay.
that you did have some experiences before
Right.
Yeah.
you
I was
decided
talking
to
to
settle
13 women
down.
at the same time, and all of them knew about each other.
But
Well,
see,
okay, we'll see
but
right
this
there. That makes you a
hey,
hoe.
hey.
And I, like I said, I had a
But see,
whole moment.
but
But see,
one
here's
thing
the
that he
thing.
did
I'm being
confirm.
all the way
But
transparent.
watch this. One thing that he did confirm, and this has been my this is why I'm really wanting women to understand this, because most men don't hear conversations from their fathers. I'm not saying that a lot, like there are some fathers that do teach this, but a lot of fathers aren't teaching their sons to have that one woman and this is what you
That's
want in
true.
life. It's not a conversation that we normally have. A lot of the times most men, we're raised and we do the things with women based off what we see in the streets, based off what we see our friends
Not
do,
what you see
based
at
off
home.
exactly. So that's
Right.
why I'm explaining.
Right.
That's why
No,
I'm
I agree
explaining.
with
A
that.
lot of what we learn comes from just outside, like comes from just what we're around. So typically, most of us aren't around environments where we're hearing about just being trying to find that one woman. We hearing. I'm for like, cause man, even going back to high school and you know, just even in my later, my early, like what I want to say, like getting into my 20s, it was all about like, hey, let's go to the mall. Let's see if the girls is up there. Let's go try to get some numbers. Let's go to Magic Mountain. Let's go get some numbers. Hey, did you take one down this weekend? It's more of like, and it's not in a bad way because a lot of women don't think men do that just trying to destroy women. I'm a different type of man. If anything, if I had sex with a woman, or if I ever messed with a woman, she was treated very well. So it wasn't anything of me trying to get sex out of her and then
Right.
And then
dogging
move
her and going to
on.
find the next
Right.
woman. No,
Right.
Yeah.
I treated the woman with respect and I treated her good. When the time was up, regardless of what it was up. I moved on. And it had nothing to do with trying to be cold. That's just what men know to do. Move
But
on
see,
Okay.
to the
I don't.
next
But see,
thing.
I don't.
So let me
But see,
ask
Chris,
Chris
hold
that
on.
same question
I
then.
don't. I don't think that it's. I don't think it's like what we know to do. It's a learned behavior, because even when we go back to what happened with me when I was talking to 13 women at the same time, and listen to what I said. All of them knew about each other. I wasn't necessarily sleeping with all of them, but I went through. I was in a relationship for 5 years with one woman from the age of 15 to 20 years old, and she
Mm-hmm.
broke my heart. And so I never wanted to be vulnerable like that again. And so that's why you'll hear me say something like, hey, I'm looking for my number one fan. Those are some of the things that I was saying. We can be friends. Don't
But
ask
how
me a
many men are
question.
saying that though? Because that's what I asked you
Not
last week.
many.
There are not a lot of men that talk like
Not many.
that.
Right.
And you
But
tried to
see,
make it seem like a lot of men are, and they're
right.
not.
Yeah. I mean, but, and but see, maybe they are. But see, I think what ends up happening, because I'll give you a prime example. No,
Exactly,
I'll give you
Tony.
a
It's
prime
not maybe
example.
they are. They're not.
Some, no, I'll give you a prime example. Some guys are goal oriented and they keep it all the way transparent. And then a lot of times these women think that once they give him sex, that it's going to change his perspective and he's going to be all into them all
Well,
over
ain't
again.
a fool.
Okay, okay, but watch this though. And
You,
I'm gonna ask you this
and
question.
that don't always happen.
No, but watch this though. So when you were talking to your 13 women,
Yeah,
let me ask you a question. You were all the way transparent, right?
yeah.
You got away with that because you were all the way transparent, right?
I didn't really get away with it because I was all the way transparent. I mean,
Bottom
some of
line
them
is,
like me,
you
some of
said
them
all
didn't
of them
deal with
knew
it.
about it, right?
Yeah,
All of them knew about it. So basically, they were okay with it. So what I'm
right.
asking you is, within all of your friends that you grew up with, how many of them could have pulled off the same thing you did?
How many of them could have pulled it off?
Yeah, honestly, if they, out of all the friends that you know, your closest boys, how many of them could have pulled off what you did right there?
I don't know. I
Come
don't
on,
know that answer.
just give me, like,
Just take
be
a
real.
guess.
You like this the thing. This the thing. I don't bullshit. I know my
But
friends
that,
who
but
what? No, no.
bullshitting a
I'm
hypothetical
explaining it to you so
answer
you understand where
on
I'm
a
coming from.
hypothetical thing.
I'm explaining it to you so you understand where I'm coming from. Out of all the friends, all the guys I've ever hung out with, I can tell you who's capable of doing what and who's not capable of doing certain things. So what I'm asking you, out of all your friends that you were hanging out with close, how many of them were capable of doing what you were doing?
Well, I mean, some of the stuff that I was doing was advice from some of my older friends. They were
Such
advice from
as,
some of my older.
such as
Well, I'm
that
not
you
gonna
could
name.
give.
I'm
Well,
not
It's
no,
gonna
not.
no,
We're
name
not
what?
asking you
names.
to name
No, no,
names.
no, no. Hang on, hang on. such as what kind of things they were giving you advice on,
Like about
not naming.
relationships. Like
Okay, such as.
one of my friends was telling me, he was like, "Man, you shouldn't have to change who you are for a woman to love you. You shouldn't have to
Mm-hmm.
change who you
Correct.
are. You
Okay.
shouldn't have to be one way around us and then another way around her." You know,
Correct.
because at the time I was smoking beaties. You know, remember the little
Bump
beaties back in
shit.
the day? There were little beaties. You pick them up, right? And so I would go smoke my beaties, but before I go to my girlfriend's house at the time, I'd have to drench myself with like a bunch of cologne, and I swear I would smell just like the cologne. And I remember my boy, he told me, and I was young at the time. He was like, "Man, Rich, man, you should never have to change who you are for a woman like that. You know,
Like
you
that.
got to
Like
just
what
But
does
but
that
yeah."
but
mean?
but let me explain because I know you're going into your story. But let me tell you, since you did not answer, why I'm saying this. Because if you know this about most men, not all men can be smooth like you. Not all men can be
But
smooth
it's not
like
even
you.
about being
Not all.
smooth.
It is because at the end of the day, it has to do with confidence. You were able to do what you were doing because you had the confidence to carry that out. Most men
No,
don't.
I
That's why
didn't
they have
care.
to lie. That's
No,
why they have to basically do deceiving things to get what
no.
they
The
want
issue
from
was
you.
is I didn't care. I was honest because I kept it real from the jump.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm explaining to you. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about men in general. There are not a lot of men that carry that confidence to pull that off. So what I'm explaining to you is the reason why men all do these shady things with women because they don't have that confidence to pull that off. So there are not a lot of smooth men like you that can be transparent, say exactly how they feel,
Tell
and
these
still keep
women that
that
they are
woman.
not the only ones. Because a
Right.
lot of men won't do that. And I want to put up a comment right quick
But
by
here's the funny thing:
Latifa.
I didn't end
Hang
up
on a
with none
second.
of them. I didn't end up with none of them.
Latifa says that if you notice, men's appreciation for women have changed with the times. I
Oh
agree with
yeah.
that, and I'm going to address that. She says, for example, men used to beg to get a woman back. Now they just get a side chick. You know
Yeah.
what? She
True.
is completely right. Because you know what,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Latifa, I am
But you
I am 58 years old, right? And I have seen this complete shift in how men, even my age, don't they will not go after you if they feel something's wrong. They say, "Well, damn her," and they're gone.
wow, yeah, that's interesting. Tell
You
us
know,
about that experience now, please. Yeah, because like what?
it is. I mean, because and I don't
Do you
know.
agree with? Hold on,
And
Tony. Before you finish that, have you seen that in Men, Richard?
yes.
No,
Oh,
Richard. Have you
Richard.
seen that in Men?
Have I seen what?
Where they're more intimidated once they see a certain thing, and after he answers, calling you
Not
go right
so
into
much
it.
as an
But I
intimidation. I don't think that she's. I don't think she's referring to
Denise said
the
you were
no,
fact.
not
I was
58.
referring to what you were saying.
Yes,
Like if they
I am.
see something, like they automatically like, no, I ain't messing with her. Have you seen that from men? Like, have you seen men actually do that, Richard?
Like be like, oh, I can't deal with her, like intimidated like that.
Like if they see something in her, like she might look stuck up, or oh, she too pretty, and she probably
Oh,
knows.
definitely.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead, Tony.
definitely. Guys will like will shy away or like because some women are really good at giving the sitting shit face. It's the
Mm-hmm.
it's the sitting shit face, like the just the like yeah. It's just like what did you eat that was just so sour, like. You couldn't even say thank you. Like, hold on. And some men are that's an unattractive quality.
But go
And
ahead, Tony.
sometimes,
I want to hear what you have to say.
yeah. So go
No,
ahead.
but
Go ahead.
I do want to address the fact that Latifa had made this comment about men not being appreciative uh, to the relationship like they used to, because men will walk away now because you have
Mm-hmm.
so many women out here that are willing to be that side piece.
Yeah, they
You
do.
know,
There's a lot.
there's a lot of women that are willing to be that side piece, but I really truly believe that that is why you don't find the innate qualities in a man that you used to, and
Mm.
that innate willingness to try and pull that relationship together, to sit in that relationship and fight for that relationship. Because what's the point when they can just say, hell, I give up? You know,
But
so
the only thing I think
hey,
it's
Steph.
sad because here you're saying, well, yeah, most men will just want to go to the side chick. It's easy to get, but it's not about the side chick. It's about lack of understanding of what he has in you. So the thing is, within this generation today, most men aren't gonna see like it. Like I said, and it depends on the age range. They're normally not going to see the value in you or how much why they should hold on to you. So that's why they're so willing to say, oh, okay, well, if she's tripping, I'll just go get another chick. Or I know this is my woman, she acting dumb, well, I'll mess around with another chick on the side, because they don't understand why it's worth holding on to you. It's not about the side chick, it's about a lack of understanding.
And
I
it's
think it's
definitely
I
not
think it's a
about.
lack of respect.
I think, yeah, and I was going there, Richard, because I
Yeah,
think that it doesn't have anything to do with what we call a side chick. I
has
don't
nothing to
think
do
it
with
has
that.
to do with the woman that he's with, whether it's, satisfying qualities that she may have that she is offering to the relationship. I truly believe that there is a lack of integrity
Yeah,
in a lot of men today. Men don't even know how to spell integrity, let alone
Okay.
have
but
integrity.
it's not
You
just
know,
the men. Understand this though, Tony. It's not just the men. Like this wouldn't be an issue. Like, granted, okay, we had the show before, and we talked about why men cheat, right? And why do
right?
men have side chicks? We had that show before, and we know that there's like three different type of cheaters. There's the greedy one, and all that type of stuff, right? So there's gonna be that guy that's, regardless if the woman's doing everything at home and all that good stuff, he's still gonna go out there and do his thing. Women have to use that discernment to understand what type of man they have. You understand what I'm saying? And if he needs to get it out all the time, she got to be there for him like
But
all the
but
time.
but my thing
Or,
is, when you say
or
a lack
well,
of respect,
yeah.
I don't think it's
Respect
a
for
lack.
self or respect for the
And
woman.
I would agree with that. I would agree
Well,
with
so
that, and the reason why I say that is because at the same time, and it goes back to what I said last week, it's not knowing what your purpose is. When you don't know what your purpose is within your relationship or within your career, you're just going to make decisions and you're not going to understand what might happen based off of your decision making. So when this man, and like even Richard was saying right now, like, oh, he can sit up there and sleep with another woman, but at the same time, I don't know too many men that will make that move and be like, yeah, because I thought about what was going to happen if I did it right before I did it. Like, I was like, man,
well,
it's
no,
just a natural action for that man to do it. And at the end of the day, most men are not going to think about down the line, because that's not how most men are wired.
no. Most men, before they cheat or do anything, it's honest. Honestly, a dude is gonna cheat because he heard too much no at home. He's gonna feel like, he couldn't have that piece of heaven at home.
I
You know.
I
disagree.
don't
I
necessarily
No, I'm
disagree.
agree
telling
with
you.
that.
This is just what I'm telling you.
I,
Because
Most men
but
are going to do
I
what
don't
they want to do
necessarily
because of the opportunity.
well,
exactly
but see,
when
I don't
when
see it that
when
way.
when
I
that
don't see it that way.
opportunity knocks on a door, it doesn't have anything to do with what he is not getting at
I don't
Right.
home.
Right.
I
see it
really
that way.
don't believe that.
I'm
I,
I
telling you,
I
don't
I
either.
don't
really
see it
don't
that
believe
way.
that
Because there's
because
some guys, if you categorize the greedy cheater in that, then yes, the greedy cheater is going to always look for opportunity, point blank, period. If it's a pretty girl and he can get one out, he's going to get one out.
But see,
But
that's
I'm
your
sorry,
philosophy on it. You have your three is just as far as
right?
three different cheaters. I don't agree with that. I just
And that's
think, like I
fine.
said,
That's fine.
it just like I said, it's an opportunity that men put themselves in. Like one thing, and I was very honest before I even got married. I knew who I was. So at the same
Right.
time, I knew that same person was still in me. So what I had to do, I had to remove myself from situations like
Yeah.
hanging out with my single boys, hanging out at the club all the time. Why? Because I knew what was in me, and I was very honest about it. See, one thing about me is I'm usually very straight up, and I say usually because I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. Say I'm all the time straight up, and I say it like it is. Most of the time, I'm usually
You're
pretty
all
straight up,
what? You
and
you pause
and
for
I
a second. You're
told
all what?
her, look, this he bullshit every week. But
No,
what I
no, I'm
told
serious. You
her
pause for a
was,
minute.
what I told her was, at the end of the day, I know myself. When I first got married, I know myself. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to allow myself to fail. But see, that was a mature decision on my behalf. Whereas most men will not make that decision. Their girls are still have to tell them, stop hanging out. I don't like when you hang out with your boys. They always got girls around. He's like, stop tripping, stop tripping. That's my boy, that's my boy. But then he end
right.
up in that situation and they like, oh, he no good. He's sorry. But it's not that he's sorry. He was just not smart enough to remove himself from that situation to not allow himself to do that.
Or maybe he was smart enough. He just didn't feel like he wanted to.
And that could be the case too. That definitely could be the case.
You just feel like I don't need to move. I'm a man. I don't need to move myself from this situation. I'm grown.
But at the same time,
But then that
go ahead.
still speaks to integrity, no matter how you
Right.
I
cut it.
agree.
I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
No matter how you cut it.
Now,
Because
wait,
we all
Denise said a
grown.
comment too.
Yeah. Oh, let me put it
Denise
up.
said a comment real quick. She, for one, she said I don't agree with that either. She didn't agree with me. She said that part opportunity, and then she said a man can get everything he needs at home and still cheat. That is true.
Exactly.
He could.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
He could.
So
Hey,
I just
hey, hold on, Tony. Let that breathe a little bit. She said she agreed with opportunity. That part.
let's let it float in the air.
Let it filter. Let it filter down.
Hey, it's cool.
Uh,
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Everybody has perspective, man. It's not, I have my perspective, you have your
Right.
perspective.
Right.
Tony has, what I'm saying? I can only talk from my perspective, man. That's it.
But let me ask you a question. How much of your perspective do you feel like can be taken serious? Because one thing that you advocate and you like you're very strong about is that how much you're dedicated to your marriage, how much you're dedicated to your family. And I
Yeah.
feel like when you're removed from like life situations, it's hard for you to have a good understanding as far as what's going on with today. And that's why I was kind of like going into last week when I said I still hang out, I still do a lot of things with a variety of different people because for me, knowledge is power. So I like to know what's going on. I like to be in the know. I like to feel like I'm comfortable in every single environment. So it's like your perspective could almost come off maybe jaded because you're not as around it as often.
Well, your environment can be stronger than your nature. I mean, I have friends from all walks of lifestyle. I have married friends, I have single friends, I have entertainment friends that are out there, like some friends that are entertainers that aren't out there like that. It's just my perspective. I don't think
Mhm.
it's jaded or anything like that. It's just my perspective. You have your element and your perspective.
Well, I'll give you an
It's not
example.
jaded, it's just mine.
Well, I'll give you an example.
Because see, then when you start saying that, like if it's jaded or anything like that, then you're
You be
talking
making
about a
sure I don't talk.
specific demographic. Like, are you talking about just black people? Are you talking
Well,
about
I'll give
white
it. Like I
people? Are you
said,
talking
I'll
about
give you
Asian
an
people?
example.
You
I
understand what
was
I'm saying? So it really just depends on what perspective you're talking about, dog.
boy. When somebody said they gonna give you an example, that means you supposed to be quiet.
Well, no, I mean, but see, you're cutting me off. I was finishing my point. But go ahead.
Like I said, for the third time. I'll give you an example. Because last week you made a comment. You said, well, I can't really give you an opinion on today's society as far as the dating game and all of that. But then at the same time, you then said,
Wait,
there,
hold on. You
there.
broke up just a little bit. I'm sorry for the
I'm,
lag. You
I'm gonna be
said
honest with you. Every time you say break it up, we ain't breaking up. That's on your end.
no, for real. Hey, I'm trying to hear what you're saying, so that's why I'm saying.
I got you.
What
But
exactly are you
basically,
saying
but
so I can
basically, what
understand
ended
what you're
up
saying?
happening was you said you couldn't give a perspective from today's dating age because you're not in that world. But
I'm
then in
not
the same
dating.
breath, you said you don't believe that you can find love at first sight. And it was kind of like to me, it's like then you can't make that comment because or that statement because at the same time it's a different day and age. So if you can't make a comment based off of how things are going now, then basically your opinion would be jaded. Am I correct?
But jaded is not jaded. Like
Well,
no, this is what you're. If we're going back to what we said last week, you were talking like in a context to where you were like, "What's the single man doing? What's this or whatever?" And so I'm not single. I'm a married man. I've been married for 16 years. I'm married, so
we know.
I can't sit there and say, "Oh yeah, this is what the married guy is doing." I mean, this is what the single guy is doing. This is how he's getting women. This is how he's doing this. This is what he's doing over here. He's Snapchat. He's saying it. I
Go ahead,
don't
Tony.
know.
Go ahead, Tony. Get him.
Go ahead. You understand what I'm saying?
Because he contradicted himself again.
No, I'm
it's not
not.
so
It's not.
no.
No,
It's
you're
not so
saying
much as that
contradicting and then
I
smiling
wasn't
to
trying
make
to.
it look like I'm changing what I'm saying, and I'm not.
No, I wasn't trying to comment on the fact that there was any contradictory statement. What I was going to say though is that because you are married now, are you not uh, hanging around people who are not married who are single that you're do you only
No, of
hang
course
around
I
people
hang
that are
out with
married?
single people. I
Okay,
have friends
so
that are
let me
single and everything.
right, but okay, so
But
hold
that
on.
was what I said last week. I said I
So
can
hold
only speak from their
He
perspective.
gonna talk over you.
so stop it, Chris.
I'm done.
So my question, I guess, would be is that if
If you
you
don't know by
have
now, Chris is a shit starter.
it, it
But go ahead, Tony.
if you have single friends, if you have single friends,
Yeah.
do you not have conversations with them about the lives that they lead?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Of course we talk about different
So are
things.
you not willing to hear what they say that is going on because
No,
you're
I
in a
hear what they
marriage?
say.
Or do you oh okay. Okay.
No, I hear what they say, but that's what I'm saying as far as what we talk about. You know, I said last week in the show that I can only give my perspective on from what my friends experience. I can't sit there and say this is what it is and this is how
Okay.
it is, and that's what I was saying. And so for me to say I'm contradicting, or Chris say, "Oh, you're contradicting," no, I'm not. I can
Okay.
only
And the only
speak on
reason
what
why
it
I
is,
asked
like what
that
their
question,
experience is.
right? But the only reason why I asked that question in that way is
Yeah.
because I can put myself in the reserve in the reverse because I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of my friends, if not most of my friends, are married. Okay. So I can take from them from whatever they tell me their experiences are. Now, the good thing is that I was married before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer married. So now in today's times is so different, 20, 30 years ago when I was
Mm-hmm.
married. So now I have to take my experience or I have to take the perspective of married people today and what
Right.
they are dealing with today. I can't go back and say, well, this is the way it was
Right.
when I was married. Because when I was married was 25, 30 years ago.
Right.
Right. And one thing I try to caution you on most of the time when you're telling me like we have a difference of opinion, different age gap as far as wisdom. You have to
I
understand,
didn't
and I
say
know,
wisdom.
and I
Those
know.
are words that you
Well,
say.
let me finish. So
Okay.
what I was saying was,
I mean, since we're
basic.
saying exactly what I'm saying here, that's why
Where's
I'm saying,
I'm
that's
looking for
why I'm
my
making sure you
whistle.
say exactly what I say, Chris. So go ahead.
Okay, so going back to what I was saying again, um, you have to understand something. I know you know this all too well about me. I pay attention to everything. And the reason why my life goes the way it goes is because I watch everything. So the advantage that I might have over you is that I not only got to watch my parents, but I got to watch you, and I got to watch the people in my generation, and I'm watching the people that's also coming up. So when I'm explaining to you about men, because I can tell you right now, I can look at Tony and say, Tony, how many men have come up to you at certain points in your life and said, yeah, girl, I've been looking for my queen?
Uh,
How many?
mm,
Huh?
no,
None, right?
no.
Because it's not a lot of men that really see what they really want. And like I said, I love that Tony said integrity, because there is a lack of integrity.
Yeah.
And it's not to discredit the man, it's to get
No.
him to understand the way you need to change your mentality and
Well,
how
the
you
thing
need to
is,
see
right,
things.
right. But see, the thing is that a lot of men today, okay, and I can only speak, I'm going to only speak to my generation, okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm like two ahead of you guys on generations when we talk, you know, age gaps. But as far as men today, in my age bracket, my age group, these are men who knew what integrity was or is. However, they choose to not follow the line or the value of what integrity is when it comes to dating women today,
Yeah.
because there's so many opportunities out there for having a side check.
Mm-hmm.
So can you say that they have integrity? Have they lost integrity? I would say they've lost integrity. They know what it is. However, they choose to not abide by what integrity is when it comes to, I'm just going to say overall people. It's
Right.
not the same. It is
Mm-hmm.
totally not the same. But I do want to address, and I don't know who this comment is for or who this question is for, Janine, but you had asked a moment ago, and I kept the comment up there. Does a man need integrity in order to truly love his woman?
He
I'm not
definitely.
going to say. I'm not going to say he does not, but if he truly wants to love his woman with the intention of being with this woman for a lifetime, integrity is going to be one of them. But also, he's going to have a self worth that keeps him in that marriage, keeps him in that relationship. Because when you lose your self worth, it's when you go out and you look for someone to give you worth.
Right. And I'll be honest with you. With as far as integrity goes, as far as for men, he has to respect himself.
Absolutely.
It's not respected to sleep with a lot of women. But guess
Mm-hmm.
what? Somebody needs to tell that man that. We glorify that kind of stuff. It's cool when we tell
Mm-hmm.
our
Right.
boys, "Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
smashed that
Right.
chick last
It's
night."
all about
We
the
get, hey,
conquest.
we get
Absolutely.
praised for that. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to. I really want women to understand and get a little bit of better understanding of how things are seen on our end that confuses us and keeps us from doing what we're supposed to do.
I agree. I agree.
Well, let me ask you guys this question, because when you said it confuses you and keeps you from doing what you're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that a woman could say to you that would change who you are as far as what you're supposed to do? What
Wait.
could a woman say to you?
I, if you want to go first, I'll go.
Go ahead, bro. What do you
My
think?
thing is, it's nothing that a woman can say. I honestly think, like I said, the man has to know where he's at in his own life. He has to be sure where he's going in his own life. There's not. It's nothing that a woman can do to make a man not do something. He has to be willing to not want to do it on his own on his own end. So I don't think there's anything a woman can do or say.
I mean, I mean, there are several things that women can do, but I agree because there's part of it where you're right. He has to have, respect for himself. He has to know who he is as a man first. I
Mm-hmm.
think anybody before they're really trying to get fully engulfed in a relationship kind of have to have a good understanding of who they are as a person, women
Right.
and females.
I
Because
agree.
sometimes women they try to look for a daddy and they mate. And
Mm-hmm.
I
sometimes
agree.
men try to look for a mom in they women. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you
Yes.
know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when you have, or even if you have like two broken souls, where you have a man that's been hurt and you have a woman that's been hurt, and both of you guys are trying to be the band aids to each other, you're going to potentially have a mess because then there's going to be the issue of, what are you doing? Well, what are you doing? Well, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's gonna always be that broken connection there
Yeah.
too.
Right.
So you have to figure out whatever that divide is. So there has to be a lot of communication. There has to be a lot of talk. There's a lot of things that a woman can say, but a lot of the things that she has to do, it has to be in her actions.
I
Agreed.
was just about to ask. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
it
about
has
to
to be in her
ask you.
actions.
Yeah.
A man needs to know that this woman has my back, whether we up, whether we down. She got my back. Um, you know, she has to be for me and not against me.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be a
Yeah.
competition on
Yeah.
who makes more money than who. It can't. You can't belittle me. Like, understand, I've been rocking with maybe $100 in my pocket when I met you, so don't try to sit here and try to run my pockets now that we together. Like, I fell in love with you for who you were in the beginning. So treat me like the king that I am. I'm gonna treat you like the queen that you are, and we'll reign in my kingdom, regardless of income.
But watch
That's
this though.
the thing.
Uh,
Regardless of income, that's
I'm a,
that's the thing.
I'm a agree and disagree with that too because, like I said, I've seen more than a few women come on this show talking about how good they are to their man. If that's true, what they've done and how much they've put into a relationship, and a man has still done that. So that's why I say it's really nothing you can do. It just depends on where that man is at
On where
within
that man
himself.
is. Right.
He has
It,
to be
it
right
is.
within himself to not
Right.
make those.
Absolutely.
That's why I said I don't honestly believe that there's nothing she can say or do
Right.
because,
Right.
like I said, that selfish
That's
nature
on
takes
him.
over or that opportunity presents itself,
Yeah.
That's on
most
him.
men will fall.
But and
Well,
Richard, I want you to read some of the comments,
yeah, I was
starting
just
with
about to go there right now.
Jamal Rashada, starting with that comment.
Yeah, I was just
Could you
about
do
to
that?
go there because I saw all these comments going on the wall right now.
And then after that, I'm gonna address the women.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Going to Jamal. Jamal, what's up, Cuzzo? I see you, man. He said you have to place high value in the happiness of your partner and children, and that has prioritized towards the top of the list. That has to be the high priority. Yeah, absolutely,
Mhm,
on the top of the list. I
mhm.
agree. Family, what's coming first? Your nut or your kids, your
Exactly.
family? Like
Mm-hmm.
like that's just breaking it down. Latifa, it says, I think men learn what love is through experience. Do you think a parent can teach a son what love is as a child? Oh, that's a good
I
question.
did.
That's where we're supposed to get it from.
We're
Yeah.
supposed to get our love from, whether, well, see, we learn love from our parents,
Yeah.
whether it's good love that we've learned, whether it's a sick love that we've learned,
Right.
and at some
Yeah.
point we make a decision on
As to
how
how
we
you're going
decide
to
to
use
love,
it.
how we're
Right.
going to implement
Exactly.
it,
Hmm.
or a team. Then Stephanie, she says, hey, Stephanie, I see you. Says, there's nothing that a woman can say that will make a man be an upright and honest man. When he
Exactly.
finds the right woman, all of the games stop.
Hmm.
Yeah, but there's nothing she can say to convince, but there's a lot that she can say and do to prove her quote, not worthiness. Worthiness is a bad word, but to prove her point on who she is, not to impress, but to press upon him what type of woman she is. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that there's things that a woman can say and do in her actions. Let's see, Jacqueline. She says, where a lot of women mess up. Okay. Let's see. These womans are something else. Okay. Al
That's
Brooks,
where
he
I'm
says,
going tonight, Jacqueline.
yeah, these womans.
Right.
Yeah, we're not going there tonight. We're not gonna talk about the feminists tonight. We're not gonna do it. Let's see. If
That's
Al
where
says
I'm going.
it definitely depends on the individual. That's true. Al Brooks, let's see. Once again, no thanks to the feminist movement. I agree, Jacqueline. No thanks to the
Mm-hmm.
feminist movement. You're right. And Al, he said it looked like he wanted to say priceless, but he said price with a laughing face. Priceless. That's a priceless comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right to an extent. Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So you know, say what you got to say, Tony, to the women, man. Go ahead, say your perspective to the women,
You
and
know
then me
what?
and
We have
Chris will
sat
close it out.
here. We've sat here and we've talked about, do men really know what love is? We've talked about integrity, uh, what makes a man cheat, and all of this. But a lot of times, we can sit here and we can honestly say that a person will cheat only based on the lack of integrity, or lack
Exactly.
of self-respect, or
Mm-hmm.
lack of respect for someone else, or just the outright gall of saying, I really don't give a shit about
Right.
hurting this person's
That
feelings. Okay.
happens. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to get
However,
mine. I just want to
however,
get mine.
at some point we have to also look at the fact that a man is going to cheat because a man is going to cheat. Well, so will women, right?
Absolutely.
But
And they're
women,
better at it, Tony.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have to also look at the fact that just because we say that a man is going to do what a man is going to do doesn't mean that we women have to be such hard asses with our men.
Right.
um because you have to be able to give them something to come home to.
That's
Mm-hmm.
They
majority of the
want to
issue right
be
there.
around, yeah, they want to be around you. They don't want to sit and argue with you about bullshit. They
Mm-hmm.
really don't want to do it. They don't want to come home to a woman who has a trucker's mouth. Now I cuss, okay, but when you're talking about,
Really?
nigga don't do this, nigga don't do that, and that, when the fuck you gonna get your broke ass up and that?
Yeah.
Oh, who
Yeah,
does
man.
that?
Yeah,
Hey,
man don't want to
get your
deal with that.
life. Hey, you better get your life, girl.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
who wants to hear that? And it
Yeah.
goes the same way in reverse for a man coming home and he just wants to berate his wife
Right.
or his woman.
Right.
So I think because we have, Jacqueline mentions the feminist movement, and she is right. I think that we have become to this point in our lives as women, and as we get older, I know that I'm probably, got some years on
Mm-hmm.
some of the ladies in this room, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice because you will get to this age, God willing. Okay. And God willing that you get to this age, don't become a cancer to the men that are around you.
Talk about it.
No, that's
Right.
the truth right there.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
I think you hit the nail on the head.
don't become that cancer where men just do not want to be around you. try and soften your image up a little bit. Start taking care of yourself a lot
Right.
more.
Yeah.
You
Start
know.
taking care of your home life some more. And when you see a
Clean up
brother in the
the
street,
house.
yeah. But when
Hmm.
you see a brother in the street, because it's not always that you're gonna be at home. You gotta get out sometime. You're gonna go to work, but you're gonna run into a brother somewhere. Okay.
Hmm.
Give him a compliment.
Right.
Give him a compliment.
Women
He
don't do
needs your
that.
compliment. No,
Women don't do that. But you know what? A lot of men don't do it either without something on the
exactly.
back end.
But see, the thing is that we have stopped complimenting each other. That's
Hmm.
one. However, women need now, if you're going to be a part of this feminist movement and be forward thinking and forward speaking, forward your ass and telling a man, you did a good job today, brother. I'm really
Right.
proud of you.
Hmm.
You
That's a
know,
good point.
be forward thinking in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't beat a brother. Don't berate him. Don't emasculate him. He has got enough going on in that world that he steps out to go help and make a living for the both of you.
But let me also say this too, and this can help a lot of women out, even though I know it's not going to happen. Y'all need to have more conversations with yourselves and what you're presenting out there, because
Exactly.
I talked about men not having, that respect for themselves, but also they're looking at all the women and the things that they're doing. I always say social media because this
Right.
is where we are really on a lot now. So what you have to understand is most of the images that are being portrayed on social media are not good for women. So there's a lot of respect that is lost on our end,
Yeah.
and the reason why we don't see you as Richard would say queens, because at the same time, the majority of the images that are put out there is that you're a sex symbol and we want you. And
Right.
you
A
do
man's
enough,
gonna want to
and
get
you
one
do
out.
it and you do enough on there to make us
Right.
want you. So guess
Mhm.
what? When we're not seeing that Instagram model, but we see that woman that looks something similar like that, we're going after her. They're going
Mhm.
after
Right.
her. And the problem is, if you present yourself a lot better and you ladies are having these conversations, you'd actually help yourselves out and help men out as well. But
Mhm.
Right.
fellas, at some point you got to get to a point in your life where you want to be mature and you want to know what you want in life. And it's like I told you last week, have a purpose and a goal for what you want in every area in your life. That way you don't get sidetracked. If
Right.
you
Yeah.
have that set up for yourself, you'll make smarter decisions. But if you don't have that, you're going to continue to make these stupid dumb decisions
Yeah.
and watch your life go all different type of paths. So be
Yeah.
smarter and figure out what you want for your life.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna wrap it up real simple and easy because I love what both of you guys said tonight. You guys, thank you for one, Tony. Thank you so much for joining this conversation tonight.
Mm-hmm.
For real. You always bring
Mhm.
you bring that
The
heat, girl.
voice.
No, you really bring that heat, and I love the fact that you joined in on this conversation because you always bring a very good perspective. And bro, thank you so much for earlier in the show when you said, hey man, I have to apologize to you because you didn't this and
That's the
that.
only
And
thing he
so
heard.
you know so I appreciate that.
That's the
Yeah,
only thing
that is
he
what I heard.
Hey,
That is what I
hey, he didn't hear all the part where I said he was wrong. He just
no,
heard
I
the
didn't hear that part.
apology part.
No, so thank you. But like just to sum it all up real quick, man, and my final thought, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. At the end
I
of the
thought we already
day,
did our final thoughts.
well, you guys did yours, yeah.
No, we all three of us
Oh,
did.
look,
You trying to get
Latifah
a
said
second
I'm
one.
a
No,
great. She
I
said I'm
didn't.
a great addition to the show.
No.
Thank you,
Who,
Who said
Jacqueline?
that? Who said
Latifah.
that?
Oh yeah, she definitely is.
Oh, okay.
She
Well,
definitely
no.
is.
Here's the thing. Like at the end of the day, because Tony said her perspective, you said your perspective, and at the end of the day, us men, you know, we give us something to love. Yeah, integrity has to be there. But women, you have to love yourself. Don't treat us like a piece of shit and you expect us to treat you like a queen.
Amen.
Don't treat us. I'm gonna say it again for the cheap seats. Don't treat us like a
Okay.
piece of shit or talk to us like we're a piece of shit
I
and
like that.
expect us to not treat you like a piece
Amen.
of shit. Like,
Right.
because there's a certain point when a man is gonna have enough. He's gonna move on with his life and have somebody else. So we do know how to love, but give us something to love. Love yourself. Give us something to love. You know, um, and with the whole social media thing, yeah, we all love to look at the pictures and like the pictures and do our thing. That's entertainment to us. It's
Yep.
entertainment to us. So Chris, you right on the money, man, when you say women talk amongst women. Women, get your shit together. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Right.
You
oh,
sitting here talking about, do we know how to love? Do y'all know how to love your damn self
Hey.
without all the Instagram
Hey.
likes? Do y'all know how to love your
Whoa, come
damn
on.
self?
Hey,
boom,
come on. Calm down, sir. You're hitting them in the heart right
boom.
now.
But no,
Well,
that's
he's
the
turning
truth.
into Chris.
No, I'm not turning into Chris. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just, I'm gonna call spade a spade. What's right and what is right, and what's
Amen.
wrong is wrong. At the
Amen.
end of the day, Chris and I might differ sometimes, in our opinion of certain things. But what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. I have my perspective on what I think. But I think also every action causes a reaction. So yeah, we do know how to love. But
Mhm.
are we falling in love with the woman on Instagram, or are we falling in love with that queen who wants to make a home for us? Or are we falling in love with our mama who wants to tell us what to do? Red light, stop.
Boom.
Green light, go. Wash the
Yeah.
car. Get some gas. No, women, we don't need a mama, and we don't need no woman to tell us what to do. We need a woman that's going to have our back. That's what
Mhm.
we need. And I guarantee you, granted, we might be rough around the edges a little bit, but I guarantee
Mhm.
you, you're going to have a real man that you're going to deal with. A real man that's going to love you.
Time.
You know what I
That's
was
my
gonna say though,
perspective.
bro? You know what I was gonna say? One thing
What's that?
about us having our disagreements, we never compromise as far as being real men and being gentlemen. That we
Oh,
never
absolutely.
Amen.
compromise that. We handle
Oh,
our business
absolutely.
with nobody. We don't need anybody to watch us. We don't need anybody to tell us.
No doubt.
We do what we're supposed to do to make sure that we're being respectful to women and that we're taking
Yeah.
care of our business. And that's what
Amen.
more
Oh, no
men need
doubt.
to understand and focus on. Being respectful and taking care of your business.
But here's the thing though too, Chris. Like, understand, man. Let's be all the way real, man. You and I, we both fallen short. We might be respectful, but I know I've missed the buck a couple times.
Oh yeah, oh
I
hell
know
yeah.
I've
We
made
make our
mistakes.
mistakes every day.
I made mistakes a lot of times and I missed the buck. But once you make that mistake, man, and you know the difference between right and wrong, what
Mm-hmm.
makes a man out of you is being able to see the right and make the change. That's the difference. So we know how to love. Women, give us something to love. You've been watching Man to Man TV. We'll be here next week. Make sure you go over to the page, share the page again, share the show, and give us something to talk about next week. Hey, Chris, I think we should talk about prenups, man.
Prenups.
I think we
Yes.
should talk about prenups.
Look,
Yes.
hey, all the sisters out there talking about the men don't be having no money anyways to be talking about.
Hey, I think we should talk about it. Hey, you guys, thank you, Al. Thank you, Jerome. Hey, I see you, big homie. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you, Jacqueline, Al, Shug, Lakeisha, Deneen, Latifa,
Sherilyn Mosley.
Sherilyn. Yeah,
Sherilyn is my
Stephanie.
cousin, first
Okay.
time listener.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm not gonna put this person out there. I'm gonna be nice.
Oh,
One
God.
person tried it tonight where they made a comment to me, and you gotta wait tonight. You ain't gonna be so lucky next show. Be careful
I
what you
don't
do.
know what you're talking about.
You'll
I
see
don't
it
know.
later when you go to the feed. Be careful, brother. Coming
Oh,
for
my
you next
God.
week if you say it again.
Hey, everybody, look, make sure you go over to Chris's page right now. If you don't follow Chris right now, go over to his page, Chris Smith. He's about to go live after the show. Give a quick recap. Go over to his page and everything like that. Let him know what you thought about the show. He might say something crazy. No one, 9 times out of 10,
I'm
Chris is
scared.
gonna give a final thought because he
I'm
don't have
scared.
me and Tony sitting here to shut his ass up. So
I'm
I know he's
scared.
gonna have a final thought. So go
This
over there to
coming
his
from the
page.
man that talk over everybody.
You damn right. You
Hey, even
damn
the
right. I'm
producer.
talking over
Oh, my
everybody.
God. I am
You
so
damn right.
scared.
Hey, we love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. All right.
All right.
Love
So
Have
I'm
a
y'all.
good
going to go
night,
ahead.
y'all.
I'm going to wrap this up. Let me mention our
You-
sponsors before we get out of here. Hot Topics Talk Radio Network and Man to Man Radio, and all the shows are under the Hot Topics Network, are sponsored by Shades of Africa in 2 locations in the city of Corona and in the city of Long Beach. Also
Mhm.
sponsored by We're
SPMG
going to do
Media.
this. We're going to do this again. Sponsored by SBMG Media, Miss Gina Smith.
Hey, hey, it's
Also,
Chris.
Stephanie Jenkins.
That's Chris.
Stephanie Jenkins of FES Protection, and as well,
I
Mr.
know
Reggie
Chris can't wait to
Kearney,
give his next final
editor in
thought.
chief of the Urban Sentinel. For more information regarding all of our sponsors, head on over to our website at hottopicstalkradio.com/sponsors. Make sure that you follow Man to Man TV here on Facebook, as well as making sure that you visit their page on our website at hottopicstalkradio.com. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Also, thank you, Chris and Richard, for your continued prayers. My mom is having surgery in the morning. So, for those who know my mom or don't even know my mom, just if you know me and you just are a praying warrior, send up a prayer for my mom, Miss
Definitely.
Joanne Palmer Young. She is having surgery in the morning. So, with that, I say thank you and I appreciate your love and your prayers. So we're gonna get out of here. Shut up,
That's
Chris.
called
What are you
black
doing?
stuff. That's called black stuff. When you got people walking in your background. What's good? What the hell is
That
going
was
on?
my
We
son.
doing a show.
Exactly. Didn't he see the on-air thing?
Hey, hey, he done walked in. He didn't even creep because he said, "Shoot, I can't even get what I had to get." Shoot.
He didn't even put the church finger up though, Chris. He didn't even put the church finger up to walk out. He was like, man, he's like, they've been rapping for like 12 minutes now. They're supposed to wrap up this show 12
I'm
minutes
gonna
ago. I gotta go pee.
just be honest
I'm
with you.
going
This
to the
never would have
bathroom.
happened on the White Show. Have a good night, you guys.
Hey, if all remains the same, we'll see y'all next week. All right. Thanks for watching Man to Man TV. We love y'all. See
Love
you guys
y'all.
next week, you
Peace.
guys. Take care. Peace.
Man to Man Radio, you are clear. Or Man to Man TV, you're clear.